friends. Hope you're doing well. We got water today, but it's not much because I've been drinking it because I'm hydrated. But we got a viewer question, which lets me just ramble about stuff that I know about, which is great. So this one comes from TKD4141 or 4141, not sure. Could be a stormtrooper number. The question is, could you please make a vid about how to get a PA position or advice on how to find work like that with minimal experience and other film career advice? I'm struggling and worried out here and don't know where to begin. LMAO. Probably not laughing if you're struggling and worried, but I'm here for you. So, the first thing I would say is to figure out what you actually want to do. Because it's probably not being a PA, because being a PA kind of sucks. You're on a film set, and if you've only worked like crappy jobs, the pay is actually pretty good, but like for doing production stuff, the pay is pretty shit. So there's that. Basically, like anymore, like a PA rate is like $250 for like 12 hours. So that's $250 for 12 hours of work. So what's that work out to be? That's like $20 an hour. Something like that. Yeah. We'll go with that. But the catch is you're gonna pay taxes. So right there, that's like 30% just cut off. That goes to Uncle Sam because you gotta pay, whether you know this or not, when you're an independent contractor, which a PA would be, most film crew would be. You're on the hook for taxes. If you work a normal job, your employer picks up about half of it, that's about 30%. So out of 250, right there, you're down to like what, 185, something like that. Like, okay, but you also have to fund like your retirement, your health insurance, all that stuff has to come out of that. So even if you're working every day, it's not a lot of money. I mean, you can make a go at it, and not every day is a 12-hour day, but it's a physically demanding job, and there's no benefits. I don't know why this is having trouble focusing on me today. There's no benefits. You're paying for your retirement. The chances that you get hurt they're not zero. They're not high most of the time. But you could get definitely hurt in a lot of ways, as far as just like overuse injuries and stuff. Like if your body's not ready for it, and if you don't do prep work outside of your PA stuff, if you're not doing a mobility routine, those hours of standing up they're gonna fry you, and you're gonna get fragged pretty hard. And that's why most PAs don't stay PAs very long. So really, I would say the first piece of advice is figure out what you actually want to do. And the best way to do that is just do things. So to that end, I would say get on Facebook and just search like whatever city you're in or whatever major city is the closest to you. And just put that filmmakers, then like State Film Association, and see if there's like meetups and meetings and stuff. Just get networked, get involved with those groups, and start that stuff, and just try to get on sets. Like most of the time, there'll be people making low or no budget stuff, and they always need help, and it won't pay anything. Maybe they give you lunch, maybe. But you can get on set, you can meet a couple people, you can start to see what the possible jobs are, and also probably jump into those jobs almost immediately. Like, as long, if excuse me, if you know the basics of like setting up light stands, and setting up C stands, and just like put the weight over the long leg, yeah, you could basically be a grip or a gaffer on most no budget films. So there you go, boom. Maybe someone will hand you a camera, and now you're the B camera operator. You figure this stuff out, and you can say like, okay, well, I've done that. And so the question is like, like you've done that, or you've tried to do that, and you're just not getting any bites. You're not getting on sets. So just make your own stuff. That's really probably the biggest piece of advice, is to make stuff and keep making stuff, and don't worry if it sucks. In fact, maybe make stuff that's shitty on purpose. Like, set your expectations low and set your, I'm not trying to think of the word that I want to use here, but qualifications, for lack of a better term, also very low. So think like you have a cell phone where's my phone? Right here. Boom. This is like an iPhone 11. It's a new-ish one. It's got the 3 things. It's got a wide angle, a tight, and you get an app like Filmmaking Pro, or don't. I mean, you don't even need that. Like, if you have a cell phone, you have a camera. So let's get that squared away. You can make stuff with this. There are people who have launched their careers making shitty YouTube sketches. Like, The Whitest Kids You Know started that way. Always Sunny started that way. The Workaholics started that way. Like, they made some sketches that had promise. Somebody saw it, and they gave them a chance. And then they gave them a crew of people that actually knew how to do it. The Grawlix did it. So, if you look on HBO Max, there's a show that was on True TV called Those Who Can't. Go on YouTube and search The Grawlix, which is it's a stand-up comedy group out of Denver, Colorado. They made these like little web shorts that were based around their stand-up show, and then eventually they got a TV show because of it. So it's like, why not you? They weren't shooting on cell phones. They had a friend that was a professional filmmaker that made their episodes for them, and they got a budget and stuff. But it's like, it starts with this. Just make something and make it short. And make it easy. Make it that costs $0, right? And if it has just you as the actor, or just one friend, 2 friends, if you've got 2 friends, just make write a 1-page script that you could shoot in one location, and make that 30-second thing. And you just shoot it on your phone. If you have a phone, if you have a better camera, use the better camera. Just make a bunch of little things. So you make like 10 of these little like 1-page, 1-line joke, kind of like in and out, ba 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 ba. And as you finish things, you'll have a group of work, and that's really important at the start, is to have things done, because once things are done, you can get no budget actors, kids that are in the theater program, film school people that want to be an actor, Instagram influencers. They'll come in and they'll be in your stuff because you've finished things. And when you can show that you have finished, and you have the ability to finish, and that you consistently finish, that says a lot to those people, because almost everybody that wants to be an actor has been in probably no less than 2 or 5 things that just never got finished, ever. So being able, just doing what you say, that puts you ahead of like, I don't know, fucking 95% of the people that want to be filmmakers. Just setting the bar real fucking low, and just doing that, just hopping over it. That's as good a place as any to start. So that's probably my biggest piece of advice, is just start making your own things and make them shitty. And if you don't have any actors, which is possible, maybe you have no friends, or maybe you have friends that just like are not interested and they don't want to be in your thing, and you've got nothing done, so it's very hard to convince someone to come be in your fucking cell phone video. Just start making daily vlogs and go watch Casey Neistat would be a good example. And it doesn't have to be like a douchey vlog, it doesn't have to be like, hey guys, what's up friends, bam bam bam, it's your boy GKD. Like, don't do that. You don't have to talk to the camera at all. Just think about filming your day in a cinematic way, and practice with that, and just, use your cell phone, prop your cell phone up against the thing, just walk through and practice that edit of you'll get those reps in, you'll get that practice in, and while you're doing that, I realistically find a job, find some way to make a couple bucks, and then you write some scripts, right? 5-10 scripts. The first one's gonna suck, the 10th one will suck less. Read the 10th one, go back and read the first one and be like, this first one does suck shit. Then write, 5 more. Then just, again, one page, one location, as few actors, as few props as possible. It should just be like modern day, 2 people doing a thing. Once you've accomplished that, you have some skills. You've written some scripts, so you have experience, and you've written your shitty scripts already. You figured out those mistakes, you got those out of the way. Now, ideally, you have a job that's giving you some money. Now you can pay someone you don't know, and that right there gives you all the social proof you need. If your thing sucks, if it doesn't air, that person still was compensated for their time. So there's no risk for that person coming in. You carry all the risk. You're giving them $50 for 2 hours of their time. For a fucking theater kid, that's great. So they come out, you film your little 1-minute thing. Maybe you film 2 or 3 of them. You got them for $50. Like, see how much you could squeeze out of them. Make a couple little short things, and then boom, you've got some things that you paid $100 for. You got 2 or 3 little 1-minute films that you paid $100 to 2 actors, $50 each, to come in and do your thing. Now you've got social proof, you've got experience, you've got a thing you made, and 2 people that'll vouch for you to say you're not a fuck up. I finished the thing. They made the thing. It's good. It's fun. We had fun. Then we had pizza. You know what I mean? So then after that, you can find actors for free, because you can always find actors for free. They're not going to be great actors, and a lot of them will flake on you. So you got to deal with that. So you need to keep writing those small things, and then as you complete them, as you film them, make the next one a little bigger, and the next one a little bigger, and the next one a little bigger. Personally, I'm of the opinion that you shouldn't make any feature-length films. I don't think you should make any film longer than, I'm going to say 20 minutes should be the max length until you are further ahead in your career. And by further ahead, you'll know when it's time to make something longer than 20 minutes. But here's the thing, is that you make these little films, you can submit them to film festivals. If they are 5 minutes or less, it is very easy for film festivals to stick them in the program, because a lot of people go straight out. They make a feature film, which is an hour long, or 90 minutes long, or 2 hours long, and it's a piece of shit because they had no budget. They had flaky fucking actors that they weren't paying. They weren't paying their crew. The crew's inconsistent, the gear's inconsistent, so shit's all over the place. And it's terrible. So you have these piles, these heaps of shit, and then here comes your 5-minute thing. That's pretty good. And that 5-minute thing is easy to put in the schedule. They can get another film in the schedule. And now, not only have you made stuff, but that stuff has been shown at film festivals. So now, you get a little more, you get a little more heat, you get a little more buzz. You got something on your resume that doesn't make it seem like you're a fuck up. It makes it seem like you know what you're doing. So you've got that under your belt. And from there, it could go any number of ways. There's so many different ways that you can get where you want to get. Everybody has a different story. But if you make things, and you've got things made, you've got people that'll vouch for you, and your things don't look super shitty, you can start to kind of get those things. As you have made those things, as you network, people will need help on their shit. Now, their shit might not be films. Their shit might be a commercial. Their shit might be a corporate video for like internal use at the corporation. I don't know where you live. Statistically, that's probably where the money's gonna be. That's probably how you're gonna make your living. Like, I live in Omaha, Nebraska. All the film work here that's like narrative films or documentary films. Documentaries actually pay better because they usually have like grants to fund it, so they can actually pay people. The narrative stuff is usually just like passion projects. So if you want to make a living, if you want more videos for $14 a month, which that's how much money I made this month. Killing it. But like most of my money comes from making corporate videos, taking pictures for corporations, and all that stuff. So that's one path to doing it. And that's just one way to do it. There are other ways to do it. You could, if you wanted to, you could just hop in, find a video production internship. And again, if you've already made stuff, you're going to have an easier time getting in the internship. And you could just jump right into the corporate stuff. They'll teach you a lot of stuff you need to know. But you can learn a lot of this stuff on YouTube University. Learn basic camera settings if you can get your hands on a camera. If you cannot get your hands on the camera, check with your local library or your school's library. There is a chance that they have a DSLR or some kind of video camera you can rent out for free or for like a small price. So again, get a job, get something on the weekends, go stock shelves at a grocery store, go work at a concession stand somewhere. Like, it's gonna suck. But being a PA is gonna be just as bad, if not worse. So I can assure you. I learned things like 3-point lighting. This is not 3-point lighting. I've got, let's see, we've got like a backlight, which is really just a practical, which is a lamp. And then we've got this guy. This is a light bar. This thing costs like $200 maybe. And then I'm just shooting it straight into a piece of foam core. See, there's a foam core. You see what a big difference it is when I take that away? Because now it's just bouncing off the wall, but when it bounces off the foam core, oh, it hits my face and it looks pretty nice because bounced light looks better. Write that down. That's another piece of advice. Bounced light always looks better. Always. On everybody. Every time. Every situation. If you can bounce the light, it's gonna look better. Downside, you lose a fuckload of power bouncing lights. This thing's at like 100%, and you can tell if I whip it around. Nuclear, right? Because that's how bright it has to be to get just a good amount of light on my face. So yeah, that's my advice, is make stuff. And I can tell you the story of like how I got into the biz. I started in 2009. I took a photography class as a blow-off elective in college because you just need like these fucking weird electives. College is a scam. And photography was one, and everyone was like, oh, it's easy, go take it. And our teacher was super chill, and he was awesome. Basically, the class was, you had 10 projects that you got all on the first day. We had 2 weeks, which was 4 classes of instruction, where he taught us the basics of composition and shit. And then the rest of the time was just submit your 10 assignments when you think they're done. The time for the class was in a computer lab. The teacher would walk around and help you with Photoshop, or you could just fuck off. No attendance, nothing. You submit your assignments when you think they're done. He would grade them. If you didn't like your grade, you could submit a new photo. It's the most chill fucking class. And it turned out I was really good at it. I had like a natural eye, I guess. Or something about the composition and instructions just made like beautiful sense to me. I just got into photography, and it was a fun hobby, and it was something different, and it made me feel artsy to a degree that I had always wanted to be, but never had the technique or patience to learn the technique. Whereas there was something visceral with photography. It was like, I think it's because like you push the button, art, here you go, it's instant. And now finding out 12 years later, like there's a good chance ADHD's on a spectrum, and I'm somewhere on that. Like there's no way I'm not, based on all the things I'm reading and hearing about. And so for someone with my brain wired like that spoke to me, is that like, you see those pencil drawings and you're like, I spent 100 hours on this, and I'm like, I would rather slam my dick in a car door than spend 100 hours on one fucking thing. was in a band. I was having a good time. The music also spoke to me in a different way because I could hyper focus on the music. So I was like a mediocre guitar player, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, the band I was in broke up, and I had been doing photography, and I didn't have a lot of music friends, so it was hard for me to just like find people to jam with. And I was like, I know no one's taking pictures of these local bands. I'll go start taking pictures of these local bands. I'll make friends, and then it'll be easier for me to find another band. And that's what I did. And then it turned out I actually liked taking pictures better than I was playing music. So, I mean, I did eventually join another band, and we were together for 5 years. And we made some mediocre pop punk music. And then, yeah, eventually it just kind of fizzled out because we were, it was like 5 years of like beating our heads against the wall, not really developing much of a following. Pop punk kind of losing steam over that time, and just like life, we all grew up, and we had responsibilities, and so band practice got harder, and when you don't practice, you don't sound good, and you don't want to play shows, and this and that, and whole thing. Anyway, I was enjoying taking pictures. I was enjoying making videos. Eventually, I got hooked up with a music video project called Love Drunk, which was a collective of people who made music videos that were live. And this was like early. This was before that was like a really big thing. And we just like came together, made cool stuff that was pretty good. And through that, I networked. I met a lot of really good camera operators, people that were way better than me. I met editors, I met producers, I met people who had day jobs in advertising. And pretty soon, after making enough of these videos, like, I proved that I knew what I was doing, because I had made a lot of shit. I had made a lot of good shit, which, to be fair, in part was borrowed from the skill of these other people, and my name was just on that a lot. And then it's not so much a fake it till you make it, it's just like, be in the room with smart people, and eventually you get smart too. And so, through that project, I met a lot of connections who have either introduced me directly to people that hire me, or those people that I met on those shoots hire me. And then also, all the people I shot when they were in bands, when they were in hardcore bands 10 years ago, now they run design firms, and now they get married and they need a photographer, or, whatever. Now they're in a nonprofit, and the nonprofit needs headshots, or they need a videographer or something, someone to come in. So again, it's kind of just like, do a bunch of work for free that interests you for people who are cool. Eventually, some of those people, this does not scale. Do things that do not scale. Because if you could just do this forever and ever and ever, and on paper that will never pay out. But the reality is, if you do enough cool things for enough cool people, it just comes. I don't know how to say it better than that. It's just like, if you want to be a filmmaker, if you want to be a camera guy, if you want to be a cinematographer, like, go find bands and be like, hey, let me film a music video for you. Or hey, let me shoot your live performance and make stuff. And even again, if you're making stuff with the phone, you can make a lot of fucking cool shit with a cell phone. There's editing apps now. Like, it's mind blowing. Again, I saw a quote somewhere that says, like, if Stanley Kubrick had this technology, like, if you traveled back in time and showed this to Stanley Kubrick, he would strangle you to death to take it from you. Like, that's how powerful this fucking thing is. Like, he would wouldn't even think twice. He would just be like, wow, that's interesting. Can I see you for it? And then he would just he would murder you and put you in a trunk for this. For an iPhone, and people are like, oh, I shot this with my cell phone. Like, fuck you. This is such a better camera, and better, there's so much shit you could do with this. Like, don't ever, like, look down on this. Make your fucking films, your 30-second films, your 30-second vlogs. Make some cool stuff. Put it on Instagram. use all the fucking hashtags. You know, find out who are the filmmakers in your fucking area. Send them a cold message. Be like, hey, I want to get started in, film production. Do you need any help? I'd love to shadow you. Just watch. I'd love to be a PA if you need any PA help. If you need any office help. If you just need someone on set to go run and get shit, I'm here, If they're making narrative films, you could offer to be a behind the scenes photographer. You could do that. You could be like, hey, I can hold the boom. I can carry stuff. You got arms and legs. Presumably you typed the fucking message to me, so somehow you typed it, so somehow you could carry a light stand, I'm sure. And if not, learn how to edit. That's always a bottleneck for everybody. Is that, and it takes a special kind of person to edit because it's not for everybody. I'll say that for sure. But like, if you have a computer, you could be editing stuff for people. Because editing is always the bottleneck. You could shoot all day, but like when you have to actually edit it, that's what takes the time. So that's another avenue that's pretty easy to get into things. And you could call up wedding videographers, people that make wedding videos, and you could be like, hey, do you need an assistant editor? Like, I'll go through, you pay me 10, 15 bucks an hour, whatever. I'll go through the footage and delete the shit and prep it for you to edit, and you'll save them countless hours of time of having to watch their own fucking shit videos. So that's another way of doing it. But really, I think the best way to ensure a path to that stuff is make stuff, show people you made stuff, then help other people make their stuff. And I think if you do those three things enough times, pretty soon you just get hired for stuff. That's what I did. That's what I still do. I still go shoot bands every now and then. I still make dumb shit. I still make dumb YouTube videos. Obviously, I'm making this dumb one right now. And it's like, you think about it, like, I've made just on this one ASMR channel, I think it's over 500 videos now. So it's like, when you think about how long does it take, it's not so much that you have to be like willing to do the work. It's more that you just have to be too stupid to stop doing it. You just have to, and then so like, that it's kind of a trite trope of like, you have to enjoy the journey, but I like doing this. It's fucking great. I'm making $14 a month. This is 30 minutes already, and that I did another one before this that was 5 minutes, and I was like, nah, this is stupid. I said the F word too many times too early. Because YouTube gets mad if you say fuck too early. It's something like the first 2 minutes you can't say fuck. But after that, fuck. Because their fucking people aren't watching this far in. Especially not to hear my dumbass. But like, okay, so you think like, again, do stuff that doesn't scale. This is 30 minutes, $14 a month. I've already made, 4 videos this month, which is a low month. And so I've already spent 2 hours just talking like an idiot. And I know you're not supposed to do self-depreciating humor, but like, again, if you make 200 videos you talking to a camera, you're gonna get better at talking to a camera. That's all I can tell you. So make your 200 videos of talking to a camera. Make things, take pictures every day. I've got a side channel that I started and then kind of just like gave up on when my work. This is my problem. I'm really ambitious, and then like when normal work comes in, I'm like, oh, I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the energy to keep up with my side projects, which aren't, you gotta do the client work first. But it's like I want to do a homework assignments was one idea I had of like, here's things you can do. So I'll save you that of like, go subscribe to this other channel, because it's gonna be a long fucking time before I make any videos for it ever again, let alone these specific videos. But But let me spitball some of the homework assignments I had in mind, and they were going to be weekly assignments, was the idea. So, assignment number 1 was just to message somebody local and say one nice thing about stuff that they've worked on, stuff that you've seen. Say, hey, I saw that video, I thought it was great. That's it. They just need to see your name. You know, that's a start. That's boom, 1 every day for a week. Local people, comment on their things, comment below it, send them a DM, you know, one or the other. It's up to you. But every day, do it just one time. You know, and get people local, get on people's radar. And then ideally you stay on the radar because you do this a lot. So that was one idea. Idea number 2, learning how to see lighting, was to pick 2 or 3 places. But I guess if you're doing this over a week, it probably would have been every day. Pick one place that you can go to in the morning, in the afternoon, and the evening, and take photos of it. How does the light come in? And then sit and think about how you could recreate that light without what's happening. If you had to make the morning light at night, how would you do it? So that's maybe a more advanced thing if you're just trying to get your foot in the door as a PA. But you could think about like, okay, if I see a beam coming through here, it's kind of golden and everything is kind of like soft and well lit. You know, you would think, okay, how can I make a beam of golden light? Like, okay, obviously some kind of Fresnel with like some fucking CTO on it, and then just a nice big soft fill with some cove lighting or something. And these are all just terms, you know. It's an homework assignment number 3. Just look up fucking terms for weird shit. I'd probably make a list, and I'd be like, what does sticks mean? What's a stinger? Like, what's CTO? What's CTB? What's a Fresnel? What's the difference between a fucking light mat and a Fresnel? Why would you use one over the other? You know, what's a floppy? What's a cutter? You know, go do some research, figure out what the fuck these things are, why you would use them. Because if you get on a film set and someone asks you for a fucking apple and you're like, here's an apple, they're gonna think you're an idiot. Let's see what else was on there. A really big one, and you're gonna hate this one, and everybody's gonna hate this one, is to do street photography, but go up to people and ask them if you can take their picture. Because if you do any kind of advertising, what will 1,000% absolutely happen is you are going to have to go. You are going to get paratrooped in places, and you are going to have to ask people if you could take their picture for any number of reasons. Either you couldn't get enough talent, there wasn't budget for talent, or the employees have to be the fucking talent, and you have to like make a quick portrait. So the goal was to go somewhere public, and whatever you have to do, get a portrait every day for a week, which that's a really tough one, and that you'll get really good at rejection quick, you know, or you make up some good stories. You'll learn to think on your feet and lie to people that you're a student, and you know. Out of water. So we're gonna wrap this up here. Let me try to think of what some other homework assignments. Using specialty elements of composition. So as far as finding frames, you know, you could think about like, if it's kind of hard because there's not a lot of good. You know, I've got these 2 closets here. It's like, how can you find a frame? Oh, this is better over here. See, I'm in that's me in a frame. So you think about that, like, how can you use shapes to frame your subjects? How can you use reflections to create interest? Could be another one. How can you use shadows to create interest? How can you use lights to create interest? You know, another thing you could do, another homework assignment, is just go on any kind of filmmaker thing and give critiques. You know, looking at things, thinking about it with a critical eye. If you look at other people's things, pretty soon you'll notice mistakes that are common, and then you'll realize that you make those fucking mistakes. And you're like, okay, how do I fix this? And you learn how to fix it. That's a good one. Just going out, making a vlog. Shoot your day cinematically with your cell phone. Do that every day for a week. Edit it, put it together. 1 minute, 2 minute thing. Shit you did. And then make a supercut of the week. And who knows, maybe that week that video actually looks pretty cool. So there you go. There's a bunch of homework assignments to get you started. Really, the TLDR, if you want to be in film, if you want to do film things, you need to do stuff, show people, help people do their stuff. And how you accomplish that, cell phones, social networking, get on Instagram, get on Facebook, join those groups, find the local people that are doing stuff, and just start commenting on their stuff. Send them cool DMs, be like, hey, I really like this that you're doing. If you ever need help, hit me up. And you'll get a lot of no's. You'll get a lot of no responses. But just stay on the radar, keep making stuff, keep being positive, do stuff that doesn't scale, and one day it will have scaled. That's what I can tell you. Because if you take the amount of free work, I have done way more free work on my own terms. That's the key. If you're working for free, you choose who gets the gift of your work. But I have done way more free work than I have ever done paid work. And that's because I just legitimately enjoy doing it. And when you enjoy it, you'll keep doing it and you'll get good at it. And then people will want you to do it for them and they will be willing to give you money to do it. So that's my advice. Also, depending on where you live, you can check out websites like Staff Me Up. But here in Nebraska, you might get 2 dings a year for something that's even reasonable for you to hop in on. Most of the jobs are posted on Facebook groups, or it's I work with these 6 clients who are production companies who they know if they need someone to light stuff, if they need a camera guy, if they need a sound guy, if they need a Swiss Army knife on set, I'm getting a phone call. So, yeah, that's it. I hope that was helpful. If you have more questions, drop comments. I'll talk about this shit all day. So, I've already talked about it for 40 minutes, and I'm out of water, and I'm getting thirsty. So, as always, I hope you're doing well, and I hope this helps you. And if not, well, I hope you figure out your path, and I hope things turn around for you. And if things are not turning around for you, watch yesterday's video where I talk about making lists of shit you could do, building momentum, and kicking life in the teeth. Because fuck life. Let's go beat that piece of shit up. It didn't give me what I wanted. It's the old Cave Johnson quote, which if you haven't heard Cave Johnson Lemons, go Google that right now. Just Google Cave Johnson Lemons and watch that YouTube video. And that's my attitude towards life. So, thanks as always for watching. I'll see you next time.